Welcome to Face to Face, the program
that frontally discusses
political and social issues in Nigeria. The weekly program brought to you on Wednesday by 6 p.m. Nigerian time, anchored by Prince Ewemade Concourse, powered by GCSDN.
Join us.
Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Face to Face program. My name is Prince Ewemade Concourse, and our topic for discussion today is who can be held accountable for the mistreatment of Nigerians in the Diaspora. That's our topic for today, and we want to get your opinion on this very particular subject, because looking around some of these countries, the way Nigerians is being treated by their host nations, the case is quite a reverse or the opposite when it comes to the way Nigerians treat foreigners in Nigeria. Nigeria respect foreigners in Nigeria. They give them the utmost respect. They treat them with dignity, without victimization. They even sometimes prefer to treat them, accord them the due respect even more than their own citizens in Nigeria. But looking around some of these countries around the globe, you will see the way that Nigerians has been treated. They're disenfranchised in different way. I don't want to use that word ratio, but if I have to, I will. And that makes me wonder, why are they different? Why are they being getting professional treatment compared to the way they treat us in their own nation? They do things ordinarily that they are not supposed to do to Nigerians in their nation, in their countries. But when they come to Nigeria, Nigerians treat them differently. And this makes me to wonder if we are living in a separate world. We've received a lot of complaints in the past, and of recent, the way Nigerians are maltreated and demonized and all sort of, unnecessary maltreatment that has been meted on our people across the world. Because for me, as a person, this is my own opinion. If I am the president of Nigeria tomorrow, any country in the world, I don't care how great or how mighty the country is, if you treat my citizens indifferent from the way we treat your citizens, first of all, I'll cut ties with that country. We don't need them; they need us more. I'll cut ties with that country. I'll call my ambassador back to my country and ensure that whatever treatment is being meted on my citizens in any country, I don't care how great that country is, we'll also give it back to them. That is my own opinion. If I am the president of Nigeria tomorrow, I will ensure that Nigerians across the world get fair treatment, irrespective of what they do. They call Nigerians criminal. They have a lot of criminal in there. There's no country that doesn't have criminal or that doesn't have criminalities. Chinese people, for example, I'm going to use Chinese as a case study. If you are caught in corruption in China, two things happen to you: execution or hanging. But these same Chinese people come to Nigeria, do illegal mining. When they are caught, they're trying to bribe their way out. That shouldn't be happening in this 21st century. If I am the president of Nigeria tomorrow, whatever you met on my citizens is what I'm going to met back to you. Point blank. Anyway, why I was just trying to present the discussion for today. My very own brother, friend, associate, and someone who will always be a part of this program. Just join this program now. I'm going to let him. He's going to be the one to to take the program for today and tell us exactly the way he see things in the Western world, how Nigerians are being treated compared to the way Nigerians treat foreign citizens in Nigeria. My brother, my friend, Chief MD, welcome to the program today. How is you? Happy Sunday. Hello, Chief MD. This your internet is having problem. Chief MD.
Yeah, I know. Hello,
Yeah,
good
your
day,
internet.
everyone. How are you, my dear brother? Nice to be here.
Thank you. Good.
It's nice to be back here as usual. I feel very honored and privileged to be part of this. Apologies. I just realized I've got shadow in the back of
Yeah, your
my head
internet is.
and yeah, much less shadow. I don't know if it's better like this. Yeah, as the topic for the topic for the day and the discussion that I want us that you brought that we should focus on. I've been contemplating about it for a very long time, and I come to realize that it's easy for us to blame the leaders back in Nigeria alone, which they rightfully so. It's easy for us. I mean, let me just paraphrase the topic just in case somebody's joining us. It's basically how we Nigerians are treated in these foreign countries that we abode in. I'm just summarizing it. And we have all this treatment being melted to us. It's simply because we Nigerians here, we are not forming an alliance. We are not coming together to form a serious body. I think there's glass in this clinic. We are not joining together to form one single body. And most of the body we have, we always look back towards Nigeria. Even the political parties that is forming from Labour to APC is always about looking at Nigeria. The other organization that is formed by Nigerians in UK, they always gear towards Nigeria. So for that context, even the student associations gear towards Nigeria. It's not about addressing issues that many of those students, many of those migrants, many of us going to be here for nothing less than at least 10 years. So I've analyzed it, and I myself, I'm guilty of it. For all the years in the Western world, traveling Europe and America, my sentiment, my focus have always been back to Nigeria and back home. I think by so doing, it's not allowing us to focus on the current issues of how our life is being affected by the political situation here. And let's just take UK for instance. 1 in every 3 Black person you see in UK, I can say maybe 1 in every 4 or 5. I can go as far as say 1 in every 3 you see in UK, say Nigerian, or have a Nigerian associate in terms of either father, mother, or something linked to Nigeria. Even though our percentage in total population is less, but our influence in UK is greater than any other group in UK. But this is the difference. Most of those minority group have a focus that is based in UK. Just imagine if we can have an association of Nigerian students, Nigerian migrants, just to form an association, come together and say we're going to start looking at issues in UK. We're going to talk about it. We're going to vote about it. Nigeria has more churches and mosques in UK than any other person, even more than the English people. Imagine we can use that our association as an influence to go through the churches and mosques to speak to our people. Election is coming, vote. Election is coming in UK, vote. Who are you going to vote for? Let's guide you towards voting for somebody that will represent our interests. Guess what? The politician will take notice. And I can assure you, Nigeria, the UK universities has been sponsored by Nigerian students. Close to 50% of the foreign students, most of this UK university are Nigerians, both Nigerian born Yeah, Nigerian from Nigeria. That's a cash cow. Nigeria pay almost 2 billion in education funding to university. I think from 2022, even during the COVID to 2000, from 2021 to 2023, they pay almost $2 to $3 billion equivalent to UK universities. So imagine those students have an influence and say, you know what, we're gonna have a voice. There's a young lady on TikTok that I saw the other day, Nigerian student migrant living in UK, who decided to go on a social media, and she was pushing a narrative to the point she got the attention of the government. They invited her to come speak in a private parliamentary session, and she spoke. She spoke about the plight of Nigerian migrant students. Now imagine we have a coalition, a force, who can influence the government about our plight in this country. We will not have I don't even know, Kemi Badenoch, the MP, the fake Nigerian lady, who is so everything about her is everything against African, just to make herself acceptable to the very minority concept of Niger Farage kind of followers. We will not have that. We have to have the same mentality of the Jewish people as Nigerians. What's the total population of Jewish people in UK? About 300,000. But their influence is immense because they have a coalition that is focused on their welfare in UK. Same in America. But imagine the total population of Nigeria and the expanding population of Nigeria. Every facet of this UK, you will find a Nigerian. But our influence is negligent. An average Nigeria association is thinking about Nigeria, not about the welfare of people here. So I've thought about it. And I've come to that conclusion that you and I can do something about it. We can set up an organization that is focused about bringing Nigerians together to tackle things in Nigeria. One of the things I'm going to say is register to vote in UK as much as you try to register to vote in Nigeria. And during the election, vote. How many have you noticed that most of the campaign, they go to the sea, they go to the mosques, they go to everywhere, go to the synagogue, apart from coming to any Nigerian church, which is the biggest influence to Nigerians in UK. How many MP you say attend Nigerian church, even just to show support? Majority of the Hackney area where Dan Abbott is are predominantly dominated by Nigerians. But have you ever seen Dan Abbott, being a black lady, gone to any of those Nigerian-based places to even campaign for a re-election? No. One, we don't vote, and even though when we have the power, the right to vote, we don't vote, and we're not engaged in the local politics here, and that's the only way we can have more influence. You know, now I see a couple of Nigerians becoming city mayors. But these are areas that we should be having an MP. Imagine the Labour MP for Peckham. You know, the Peckham, which is another extension of Lagos. Google it. The MP for is a former temporary leader of Labour Party. What's the name again? I don't remember her name. Just escaped. Is this lady, white lady, doesn't even know anything about Peckham? Are you telling me that there's no credible Nigerian in Peckham that can represent Peckham?
Your network is having some. I think your network is
So that's
weaving.
the thing. Even hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Your network is your network that is having problem. Because last program, you were off and on, but the network was still on from my end. If you can you hear me?
The internet went off. So
yeah, it's your network.
I don't know.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, just wave your hand.
Hello, I can hear you. I can hear you. It's just fake. I can
Okay.
hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. So, who do we hold accountable for the mistreatment of Nigerians in the diaspora? Who should we hold accountable? Do we hold our leaders accountable for their failure to provide the basic things for our people that makes our people to begin to emigrate from Nigeria to a different part of the world? Or should we hold our host countries, the host nation, accountable? In your own opinion?
I think we should hold ourselves accountable, starting from each Nigerian. We voted these leaders in, even though if they corrupt themselves into it. How many of us have even actually go and protest that this is not the leader we voted for or wanted? None of us did that. We had to, look at the answer. The NSAS was able to eradicate a whole police unit that was terrorizing Lagos and Nigeria overnight. It's not that the political leaders are not aware of our powers, but we are so conditioned to accept and be tolerant and be under any control than actually speaking up. We should hold ourselves accountable first. If we can see the NSAS movement, how it took away the SARS force that was terrorizing the whole country overnight. Imagine the power we can have to say, no, we didn't vote for this governor. We didn't vote for this government. Just imagine that. There's no amount of police army they can put on the street to stop us. The government will fall. It's as simple as that. It's as simple. So we need to blame ourselves first. We chose this government. We should pay the consequences of it. I see young people, even the older people, I really don't have so much crimes on their way out. I see young people that still have a lot more to live, brighter future, being bought, giving 2,000 naira to go and vote for somebody that has zero plan, and they're happy. They don't pay me, or they don't give my own 5,000 naira. I go vote. Why not just say this man is giving 5,000 naira to vote for him? Would that give you school? Would that give you good road? Would that give you security? Would that secure a job for you? No, but you just collect 5,000 for the price of all that. That is why the Nigerians, youth, and some even grown-ass adults will leave the country to come here and be a cleaner, a carer, and whatnot. So that's the thing. So for me, I'm not too particular about blaming the host country. I'm not too particular blaming the Nigerian leaders anymore. I'm blaming you and I, the fellow Nigerians. Is the one I'm blaming. The same fellow Nigerians who are in this country for years have never voted, not even joined a party. And they complain about the maltreatment or negligence of Nigerians here. I'll say vote. We have the pastors, the spiritual leaders. They're not imitating the BS they're doing in Nigeria, always preaching about wealth. Go get a job and talk about civil rights. Tell your members how to join the electoral process in this country, not just Nigeria. Most especially if you have kids in this country. There's highly likelihood they ain't going to go back to Nigeria with you because this is their home. This is all they know. If you ask me, Lagos, Ikeja is my base. It's like, like salmon, we always swim back to where we were origin from. Lagos, Edo State will be my base. You understand? So for me,
talking about
talking
about votes. Talking about votes, I have I've been in the UK from 2021. I migrated from Sweden to the UK in July 7th, precisely of 2021. I haven't been here for a few years now. I have actually voted. I voted during the May 2nd election in my constituency. I voted for the Commissioner of Police and the city mayor as well. And I just received another card a few days ago about the next election coming up as well. I agree with you that we should always vote wherever we are. It doesn't matter. Register to vote, and because if you don't vote, then you don't have a say in the affair of the government. It is very important that Nigerians, especially in the diaspora in the UK precisely, should register and vote, because if you look at Nigeria should have the greatest community in the UK if they have their house in order, because they've been here for a very long time. I remember back in the 60s, 70s, early 60s, 70s, and Nigerians have been coming to the UK, especially the Yoruba tribe. They've been coming here for a very long time. And looking at the UK, the United Kingdom, for example, you see that the Indians, they're taking over the UK in every ramification. The Indians are taking over the UK. It's not surprising to
Yes.
see an Indian born becoming the prime minister. It's because of what the foundation they've been able to lay down over the years, where Nigerians were busy doing other things. Nigerian voice should be heard very loud and clear as of this century that we're living, because they've been here, they've paid the ultimate price, they've sacrificed, they're part of their ancestors were part of to build this nation during the slavery and all that. So they should, Nigerians should come out and register to vote, and also begin to vie for position. That way, some of the ill treatment that will be with Nigerians are in the UK will be able to, address some of those issues. I've been only here for a few years now, but I am doing my own best in my own way. Some of the things that I see that is injustice that is being done to Africans and Nigeria in this country. I write petitions. I'm very good at that. I write petitions to the parliament and all that. I think, like you rightly said, we should begin to engage in the system. If you're going to be there, you're going to, this is your home, your second home, you should begin to engage in some of this electoral process.
This is your first home.
Any of the electoral offices.
This is your first home.
This,
if you live here, you make your income here, this is your first home. Yeah, wherever you live in the diaspora that you're making your income is your first home. Regardless, is it. So we should first of all clarify that. Apologies for interrupting. Yeah. This is our first home.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
fine.
Where we live and make money. Until you move back permanently to anywhere else, that become your first home, because you can move to Canada, to anywhere else in the world and live. Then you can't call this place your first home anymore, because where you're staying currently will be your first home, where you make an income and sustainability. So this is your first home. Nigeria is your second home if you don't live there. If you just go there on holiday and get engaged in the little political drama, yeah. But this is your first home. And this is the point. I think we should discuss next show about politics whenever we can before the election, and try to encourage Nigerians who and why they should support a particular person. We should be liberated to say that, regardless of the consequences, because we have to have a voice in this general election. Because many minority group, I won't say minority, I would just say many Nigerians are not coming up to speak. That's why people like Niger Farage have the loudest voice, because it's only providing one narrative. If they take Nigerian students away from British university, most of the British university will collapse. If they take Nigerian workers away from the public health care, majority of the public health care will collapse. Or service industry. 90% of Nigerians work. So compared. So let's look at the data and the statistics. You understand? Go to any university in UK, you will find a sizable chunk of Nigerians from the diaspora paying foreign fees, full amount, including their master if they're doing masters. So tell me, imagine we can come together, form an association on one voice, and then push an agenda. You cannot be paying 12,000, 15,000 fee per year, and they say you can only do 20 hours job. That should be something we should be kicking against. You should be allowed to work full time if you want, as long as you're meeting your full skills, attending lectures. That is just rubbish. Because they expect you to still be making the money in Nigeria while you're studying and doing and paying you, but still just do part-time. You know, that 20 hours, that's something we can kick against. And say vote for any party, any House of Parliament in your local area that would support that they eradicate that 20 hours minimum and maximum working rate for foreign students. We're not the only one that's going to benefit from it, but we're the majority of the ones suffering from it. There will be some minority of the group that will benefit from it, but for what is worth, yes, that's just one thing. Have you heard everything they talk about when it comes to immigration? Is our asylum seeker or those illegal immigrants? Yeah, I agree with all that. Fine. How about the legal immigrant? What is the survivability for them here? Plan, apart from taking advantage, they're okay to pay 15,000 per year, but they're not okay to do regular job. How many of their own home students paying 15,000 and still able to survive without the parents, without them doing a full-time job on the side or anything? Paying even their normal school fees, they get student loan for. Still cannot survive. They still have to do other jobs.
Sorry to interrupt you, my brother. Speaking of the asylum seekers and all that, you know, like Pope Benedict once said, we are all refugees in another land. Even the Bible acknowledges it. Jesus Christ took refuge at a point in time before he was born. And the monk that went from one land, from one place to another.
Yeah.
We are all refugees. And looking at it from the biblical aspect, it is not in our. I don't believe it will be fair for us to judge those people who are coming in from one through because of one reason or the other. If things were right in their own life,
I'm not judging
anybody
them.
will be coming. Yeah, I know you're not judging them.
My dear brother, I'm not judging them. I'm just saying the rhetoric around it is so biased, it's so one-sided that no counter argument for it. But because
I know. I just wanted to throw more light. I just wanted to throw more light on that. You know, I know you're not judging them, but since you brought it up, I just wanted to throw more light on it. Because when I hear or read from some news media how they're going to be taking the refugees to Rwanda and all that, for me as a person, as a humanist, like you always say, I feel very bad about it. Because if someone find their way from whatever point A to point B, now you want to take them 6,000 miles away or 9,000 miles away to a different country, which is first of all against the Geneva Convention on Refugee. Completely against the Geneva Convention. If somebody make it from point A to point B, that point B becomes where they are able to seek. When they seek, you shouldn't be taking them to another country.
Point.
All you need to do address the issue of their claim. If their claim has no merit, remove them back to their country of origin. Simple, and that's it. You taking them from your host country, from this country back to Rwanda, is completely inhumane. That's one of the reasons for me as a person. I believe in Labour Party in this country. I know Labour has done so well for foreigners. Looking back at the era of Tony Blair, who was one of the greatest prime minister in the history of this country. For me, I don't know about somebody else, but Tony Blair was one of the greatest prime minister. And because I'm a student of history, I follow history very well. I've been following Tony Blair just like I follow Bill Clinton in the United States and all that. So I know very much about these people. For me, I actually was going to start a campaigning for Labour Party. I don't know what's his name, the Labour Party primary candidate of Labour, the candidate of Labour Party, Stemmer, whatever his name is. I don't know him, but I'm willing to campaign using my media to campaign for Africans, Nigerians, in particular in the UK, to vote and support him. Because Labour Party always have the best, the best program for foreigners. We always know that conservative are not for the people. They are always entered foreigners, just like their brother in the United States, Donald Trump, who doesn't like black, who call Africa shit. Oh, we know all this, So I think the more Africans begin to engage in this political process that always bring out the best out of the best, the more we Africans will be able to air or voice our opinion. That is my own take on the issue of the refugee. I'm 100% against taking them back to Rwanda, and I don't believe they should be taken back to Rwanda for no reason.
Well,
yeah, you have the
just
floor.
a quick note of digression. Just to pick a note of digression there, because just in case, I don't want people to pick this up. That I know you said Tony Blair being one of the greatest prime ministers. There are many people who would disagree on that and would consider him a war criminal for joining America to lie, to invade Iraq, kill 1 million plus people and all of that. So that's aside. And then again, Donald Trump, you did allude a bit to Donald Trump. Let me shock you. 4 years of Donald Trump, even though he tried to turn a lot of the things Obama tried to achieve back, Donald Trump did more for minority group, black people, than 8 years of Barack Obama. Forget the hype and the noise and the racist taunt of Donald Trump, the Muslim thing, the Muslim ban, the build the wall thing and everything, and all those supporting. No. Donald Trump, in 4 years, the highest achievement of Barack Obama was the care thing, Obamacare. The rest was war. Donald Trump gives these black colleges full funding. He did a criminal reform where, and he was working on even larger part of the criminal reform. Of course, he played into his right wing where he eliminated abortion from the federal government law, protected law. Yeah, I agreed. And appointed a lot of conservative Supreme Court judges. But in terms of achievement under Donald Trump for black people, Donald Trump have focus project for black people. This is fact. You can just check it. Look at the predominantly black colleges. Where immediately Joe Biden came into office, he removed the money. The Democrat removed it secretly. Donald Trump gave black colleges same status because he also gave religious as well centers same status of the same public funding that benefited mostly black known colleges, universities. And the criminal reform, it doesn't mean that a lot of African American or black people are criminal, is that the judicial system have criminalized a lot of the things that they shouldn't. And they affect black more than ever. So the judicial reform that was pushed by Kim Kardashian, it made it happen. Republican, as racist as they may be, this Biden came in with the Labour, with the Conservative, and with the Democrat, reversed it. You understand? Obama bombed Libya.
Yeah.
One of the most thriving society country in Africa. Obama bombed media, used American jet to bomb media. Libya. Libya now is full of terrorists. If Donald Trump was there, that would not have happened. Is Libya better off now?
Not at all. I understand the issue of Libya was one of the biggest.
Now destroy Libya to the point it's an hotbed for terrorists. Libya was like the oasis in Africa. The same person they call dictator, they put even a worse terrorist there. Obama went after Syria. Syria had a very egalitarian society, whereby even Jews were protected. Jews were represented in the house. Foreigners were protected. Everybody were protected. Obama went after Syria and said Assad must go for no reason. What gave him the audacity to say Assad must go? So if you want to credit that, we cannot credit the mistake we did, or many of black outside America, was to look at Obama as a black person and project a lot of falsehood on him. And then it did totally opposite. Obamacare wasn't even predominantly targeting the blacks. It did not do one single thing. It didn't. Underneath his watch, a whole city water was poisoned and it did nothing. Couldn't even raise money for it. Although it's underneath the state, but you're raising billions, giving it to other countries while you can't even raise money, even though use your presidential office to say this water tenders, let's investigate and bring those to justice. It didn't. That would not have happened under Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump is a racist. Agreed. Donald Trump is whatever, useless, just all the bad negative. Donald Trump is still better than Obama. In terms of targeted policy that look after the interests of black Americans, although it's a racist. I'd rather have a racist that make things better for me than have an ally that does everything against me. And that's the thing. So we're in UK as well. You understand? We know the conservatives do say all this negative thing, immigration policy and everything. There you go. But when Labour was there, what Labour was the one that introduced student fees. Although it works in advantage of minority to be able to go to those colleges, because now you control the money, not the university fare. But it also put a lot of people in poverty. Labour started with the reduction of benefit. It wasn't conservative. Labour helped in the movement of privatization of the NHS by putting this third executive element into it, private management of it. They started it. Conservatives just mastered it. So immigration, when Labour talk about immigration, it's not any better than what conservatives talk. They just don't target it as this or that. You understand? Conservatives about money. Conservative governments about money preservation. And when they see that there's a voice that brings money in and is recognized, they will adjust. Labour don't do that. And Keir Starmer, the current Labour Party Keir Starmer, we've seen his potential and ability to change, like a chameleon and lie. It stabbed Jeremy Corbyn in the back. Everything he promised to win the ticket for Labour leader is done. It's done 190 on it. It predominantly go after minority group, targeting minority people, targeting them for the slightest thing, while condoning every other person, trying to rationalize every other person. If he's doing that before he gets into a government, now what do you think he will do when he gets into government? Sometimes the devil you know is better than an angel you think you don't. So do that kind of thing. But we need to come together as a community in UK. As the election is coming. This country, this old school, same not just in UK, in America, in wherever we have, find each and every one of us. Put our tribalism aside and bind together. Because what affects an Igbo man, a Yoruba man, a Hausa man, and a Do man in UK, it affects Nigeria. It doesn't affect you differently. They're not passing any law specifically to benefit one group of you. It's all of you. You understand?
Very well.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you.
So for me, I'm more interested in us coming together and being able to look at this critically and say, you know what? How are we going to help ourselves, let our voice be heard? There's an election coming in UK. We need to start talking about it. We can pioneer this. We can start it, not wait for other people. We can start reaching out to churches. And start saying, what are you telling people about this next election? Who are you supporting? Start with your local MP. We should also encourage ourselves and our children to run for the local MP. You understand? We also have to encourage ourselves to do that. You understand? We have to look at the Asians. They're doing that. They are doing that. So why can't we? We have more Asian MP than what you understand. Than the size of the population we command in UK, like most of the Western world, we are the most educated. We are the most educated. You understand? So I don't see any reason why we're not joining force to do that. I mean, that's what I think.
Honestly, I hope Africans begin to wake up, from their longer
Yes,
captivity.
Harriet Hammond. Apologies. Harriet Hammond, nothing personally against her. Miss Harriet Hammond is the MP for Peckham. Just think about that. Miss Harriet Hammond, you can never have anybody who is more Snow White than that. Imagine Harriet Hammond representing Peckham. Do you think she fully understands the plight of majority of the people in Peckham, including the young ones and the migrant populating there? No, she doesn't. She doesn't. So she can easily support any random immigration law that is passed because she doesn't understand. It doesn't affect her. She's not even associating with people there. Only election time, she go around, knocks on few doors because that's a safe seat. Those people will just instinctively think, no, it's Labour we're voting for. And that seat can be beaten. Get somebody from that area who has a contrarian. Another problem we also have is when we have the minority people who actually try to get into this political position, like the jackass guy that run for Conservative, for the Conservative mayor of London, or these people like Kemi Notch or something, they go to the extreme. They become a racist against their own people to be accepted by people like Nigel Farage. They don't even represent the same people they come from, just for them to feel accepted by people like Nigel Farage. And those are the people who think they rise up in ranks. Because why they all running to join Conservative with that kind of mentality? Because Labour itself is not giving them room to grow. How do you have Miss Harriet Hammond representing Peckham? You are telling me that all of Peckham, you cannot find a credible someone that looks like the majority of the people there to represent them, who can understand their issues, their concern, and their worries. But Labour does that.
Thank you.
They will put the Snow White person in a more safe Labour state.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Chloe, your closing remark today, we're not going to spend too much time. We almost coming to the end of today's segment on face-to-face program. Your closing remark to our audience regarding who they should hold accountable for the mistreatment of Nigerians. Is it their leaders or themselves or their host nation? Just give us your closing remark. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And I've really thought deeply about this, and I realized that rather than us trying to hold the host country accountable or hold our leaders back home solely accountable, I think we should hold ourselves, as I said earlier, first. We are not actively engaging in the process that will bring change. We're not, both domestic at home and here. We're not actively engaging. Starting from our leaders in the society, the pastors. Let's start with our community leaders, our pastors in this UK. They talk more about Nigeria than they will talk more about the country where they make a living, where they're having their children and family. The pastors are not getting engaged in community projects. I remember I was going to a church many, many years ago, and the pastor was saying to people to gather money for them to go and build a satellite estate in Nigeria. Like, how many of you own a house in this place? You're not saying, let's start up an investment group that will be buying houses, fix and sell, and they're getting return in UK here. But no, let them work hard there, give you the money. Let us go and build one estate in Nigeria that many of them may not even see in around 20, 30 years. They didn't come together. So my own analysis is this: fellow Nigerians in UK, fellow Africans in UK, it's time we come together. I know what afflicts one of us afflicts all of us, regardless our tribal differences, our country nationality differences. We should be able to have a forum, whereby we talk about our interests and we go after it and promote candidates or people that represent us in this current society. And it starts with our leaders in the church. If you see me only as a Nigerian, or only as a Ghanaian, only as a Cameroonian, only as a Zimbabwean and everything, then you lost the plot. But if you see me the way I see you as a fellow African, and then we're able to stand and say, no, this is not going to happen. Why is it that it's Rwanda that decide to make a base to send people to? Were they going to send the white European who are coming from the other side, who are running away from the war-torn area from Ukraine to Rwanda as well? They were immediately given welcome citizenship allowance or the right to stay. They live in war-torn. There's a lot of war. There's a lot of problem now in Congo. There's a war going in Congo. Would they also give the same people run away from persecution to UK and give them the same leverage? No. There's a lot of still unrest in the Middle East. Look at what's happening in Palestine, in Syria. How many refugee shipload have they actually said, no, we need to rescue these people, bring them and settle them? No, none of that is happening. If you cannot see what's happening in Palestine to open your eyes, the worst will happen to us if we don't come together. If you cannot see what happened to many of these Middle East countries, the worst will be going to be next. We need to band together. And this election, we must come together and vote and support a candidate that will represent our interest, the African interest. Rwanda is not a dumping ground for refugees. Rwanda is not a dumping ground for those who are trying to run away from persecution or make a life for themselves or even sustain for themselves. The right to move is in UN Charter. Freedom of movement is in UN Charter. We should defend that. No country should have the right to deport another citizen unless they commit crime, because they migrate. Migration is not a crime. Whatever what it is, either way you migrate, it's not a crime. The freedom to move around is not a crime. And if we are not doing that, they will always take advantage of us. God willing, someone like me, get to be into the government of Africa or Nigeria. All country, all businesses that does not support the freedom of Nigerian citizens in their country, we will nationalize that company. You must actively work with your own country, host country, to give Nigeria that freedom of movement of goods and services. If you're not, we will nationalize your company. And we will make sure no businesses work with your organization. Nigerians, the Nigerian government, this is why I also blame Nigerian government. Jonathan did that during his stay. Nigerian government should not allow any country deport their citizen for no reason, even in the position of crime. You cannot deport any Nigerian citizen because of overstaying or migration. You should not allow it. Look at what's happening in South Africa. They made into a jingle, and Nigeria must go, Nigeria is selling drugs. They are the drug takers. They're the one taking the drugs, using the drugs, but they're blaming Nigeria for their own crime. You know how many South African businesses in Nigeria are making billions? From ShopRite to the mobile network. Your government that you are supporting back home in South Africa, if one Nigerian is deported, a top executive of your company will be deported. And if you are not influencing your government to stop this xenophobia and the raising attack against Nigeria in South Africa, we will nationalize your company. And if we can start doing that as a country, UK is making a year. Do you know how much UK pensioners are making from Nigeria through their investment? Close to $10 billion every year. every year.
Thank
They are
you.
making
We
to
are almost
forget
out
about
of
the
time.
Nigerians stealing money, politicians stealing money, coming to buy houses, mansion. There's a whole area in central London owned by most Nigerian politicians. There's a bus stop that will be telling
Thank
you all
you.
this
Thank
area.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Just round up, please.
Yeah, I'm just
Thank
for
you
that
so much.
reason, I
Just
appeal
round
to
up.
all
Just round up.
Africans, every Nigerian. No, I say I'm just right now. I'm appealing to all Nigerians, all Africans. I'm appealing to everybody. Let's come together. Let's form a union, and let's fight a common. We must represent the interests of all Africans.
Thank you so
That's
much.
it.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, my fellow Nigerians and fellow compatriots. Before I give my closing statement, talking about immigration, let me just quickly draw your attention to a book called Migration from Africa. Migration from Africa is called a step-by-step approach to legal immigration from Africa. It's one of my book on Amazon. You can type the word a step-by-step approach to legal immigration from Africa. Then, based on the discussion for today, talking about should we hold accountable for the mistreatment of Nigerians in diaspora, that takes me to the next book, which is called Migrant Under Siege. That's a book that I also recommend all Nigerians to type the word on Amazon. You can get a copy of this book, or you can wait when the website is officially open in August. You can download and read. But if you want a copy of this book, you can type the word Migrant Under Siege. There you can understand more about what's going on with migrants in general all over the world. That takes me also to the next one, which is called My Ghost Will Haunt You. I also recommend this book for Nigerians and Africa all over the world to get a copy of this book. And the information on this book is mind-boggling, and I advise you to get a copy so you can read and educate. This book is meant for Nigerians and African and the next generations of African Nigerian to be able to have the first-hand information so they can guide themselves or be able to navigate their way through the process of immigrating. And the last on the list of the book is called The Refugee Project, also talking about the refugee that is being sent or be planned to send to Rwanda. I advise any Nigerians or Africa planning or that have intention to to immigrate to the Western world to seek for refugee. I advise you to get a copy of this book. This book will guide you. It will be a guiding step, like a guided angel towards a fulfilling lifestyle in the Western world. So get a copy of that book. So my fellow Nigerians, it's always nice to be on this program every Wednesday. For me, if I were to be the president of Nigeria, none of my citizens will be meted with ill treatment. No Nigerian citizen will be treated wrongly. If you treat my citizen wrongly, I will treat your citizen wrongly. If you deport my citizen, if you deport one, I will deport 10. That's what I would do if I am the president of Nigeria. So I thank you all for always being a part of this program. Until next week, same time, same time, same place. I look forward to seeing you all again, and you have a wonderful evening.